Nanman were aboriginal tribes who lived in southwestern China. They may have been related to the San Miao, dated to or around the 3rd century BC. The Nanman were multiple ethnic groups including the Zhuang, the Qin, the Tai, and some non-Chinese Tibetan-speaking groups such as the Bai people. There was never a single polity that united these people. The Book of Rites details ancient stereotypes about the CE4 barbarians surrounding China. The people of those 5 regions, the Middle States, and the Rong Yi, had all their several natures, which they could not be made to alter. The tribes on the east were called Yi. They had their hair unbound, and tattooed their bodies. Some of them ate their food without its being cooked. Those on the south were called Man. They tattooed their foreheads, and had their feet turned in towards each other. Some of them ate their food without its being cooked. Those on the west were called Rong. They had their hair unbound, and wore skins. Some of them did not eat grain food. Those on the north were called Dai. They wore skins of animals and birds, and dwelt in caves. Some of them also did not eat grain food. The people of the Middle States, and of those Yi, Man, Rong, and Dai, all had their dwellings, where they lived at ease, their flavors which they preferred, the clothes suitable for them, the proper implements for use, and the vessels, which they prepared in abundance. In those 5 regions, the languages of the people were not mutually intelligible, and their likings and desires were different. To make what was in their minds apprehended, and to communicate their likings and desires, in the east, called transmitters, in the south, representationists, in the west, daidis, and in the north, interpreters. During the Three Kingdoms period, the state of Shu Han ruled over southwest China. After the death of Shu Han's founder, Liu Bei, the tribesmen of the region rebelled against Shu Han's rule. The Shu Han chancellor, Zhuge Liang, led a successful expedition to quell the rebellion. In the novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the rebellious Nanman tribes are depicted as an alliance under the leadership of Meng Huo. Meng Huo is said to have submitted to the rule of Shu Han after being captured and released no fewer than 7 times by Zhuge Liang. This story has been adapted into many other works of fiction over the centuries, as well as video games based on the era. During the Tang dynasty, the Hmong ceased as a major non-Chinese group except in Yunnan, where they were ruled by the 6th Zhao. The southernmost, known as Mengxia Zhao or Kingdom of Nangzhou, united the 6th Zhao and founded the first documented independent Nanman state during the early 8th century. The royalty were thought to be Bai people. Nangzhou regularly paid tributes through the head of military district Jianan Jiedushi. When the Tang dynasty gradually declined, Nanman gained more independence, but were largely assimilated by later dynasties, in particular from the Yuan dynasty onward. However, some of Nangzhou's cultural influences were carried south due to its location. The early Chinese exonym Man, Southern Barbarians, was a graphic pejorative written with radical 142, the insect, or a reptile, radical. Zhu Shen's Shuaowenjizi dictionary defined Man as Southern Barbarians, who were a snake race.